now to the city of Titusville. And so we find out the mystery behind who laid the pipe that was behind the massive sewage spill in the RAL. And you found out that information still, and it's who?
It's RKT Constructors Inc. They're no longer active on Sunbiz, but all of their business paperwork is on the site. And there's a lot of very familiar names on the business paperwork, and we believe they're connected to a city council member. So more will be coming out about that.
Interesting. And then that brings us to the Rural Oak Group, and that raises questions. They're raising questions over the comprehensive plan and whether it's not being adhered to versus the changed zoning. And this is really a real issue, right? Do you go by the comprehensive plan or we're not? Which one is it, right?
Right.
And so there's some question over this?
Right. So the comprehensive plan is basically the plan for the city and its growth and development. And it's really important to stick to that plan because it was established so that there's not irresponsible growth. And if you're constantly amending it, well, what's the point of having a plan?
It defeats the point, right?
Right.
It's like having a budget and you just keep
spending.
right. Which is what happens. Now that's coming up on the at the Titusville City Council meeting on the 29th of this month, and there's been some problems with that. Now the group is raising questions about it, and they got a threatening letter from one of the attorneys for one of the developers who is trying to. And I read the letter, and the thing that struck me is they're saying that you're saying inflammatory things, and I'm thinking, what? I mean, don't they have a right to speak and to speak out? And they're questioning that.
Yeah, they're questioning the comprehensive plan. I don't know. It seems like yet another intimidation tactic being used to silence voices, to silence dissent, to silence people from even voicing their concerns. And I think that should alarm everyone that this is a continued pattern, especially in the city of Titusville, that we see, whether it's city officials doing it, whether it's lawyers doing it. I think they have a very valid concern when they're talking about this comprehensive plan. It's supposed to keep growth in check. As Katie said, there's a reason for having it.
Can't the residents say that? I mean, don't they have the right to freely say that?
They do,
and so
according to our Constitution.
The lawyer for this developer, as I was reading, is threatening to sue them for saying things. And I'm thinking, for what are you? So I guess they would have to know this is not illegal what they're saying. So what are you doing? Are you trying to threaten them?
Yeah.
I mean, this is making sense.
If they did, I would consider that a slap lawsuit, and that wouldn't be the first time it's happened in Titusville by a developer where they've filed a slap lawsuit. It's happened to other citizens.
But what you have here and what's going on across America is you don't have real capitalism anymore. What you have is crony capitalism, where you have the government and you have business in bed together, and they're doing it at the expense of the citizens. Now, Mayor Connors, we say a lot of bad things about him. It's nothing personal, Mayor, but here we're going to actually say that you've said something here in your video last week. Please, let me say this personally. Don't try to put yourself in like President Trump. You're not President Trump, and you're not standing in the way of people who are trying to protect people other than the special interests. So leave that alone. That's not it. But here's the thing that you said that I would agree with. You propose a charter change for the city of Titusville. I agree with that. I think that there needs to be a charter change. A couple of reasons. One is there's not equal representation across the city. And so when you elect someone at large, there's not equal representation in each aspect of the city. So I agree with that. And constitutionally, that would be better. And the other thing is that you want possibly a mayoral form of government, which I think is better, because now you have unelected people like Scott Larice, the city manager, who is accountable to no one. And he just continues to give himself raises, and he's accountable to no one. He should be to the city council, but you guys are not keeping him accountable. But if we have a mayoral form of government, and then we have a charter that's changed, that's not a managerial form of government, now the people that are elected are directly responsible to the people. Show me where I'm wrong on that.
Right, especially with the size of Titusville. It's not a huge city, but it's not a super small city either. I don't think that this is a horrible idea. I mean, and it'll make them more accountable to the people, and that's always a great thing. And save a lot of money.
Yeah, the
think so?
people elected them to represent them, not the city manager. And I think there's been a lot of concerns raised throughout the years regarding basically the person that acts as the CEO of the city. So Mayor Connors, I'm actually really impressed that you're listening to the people and you're watching with their concerns with this city manager and staff ran situation that's been going on. I mean, he's been there for over a decade now, and we've had numerous sewage spills. We've had many other issues that have been raised, and so the fact that he's even looking into it, that's a start.
He wants to appoint a citizens advisory committee, I think. So that's a good thing. And again, we're not just criticizing for the sake of criticizing. When someone's right, we'll point out that they're right. And in this case, I think he's on the right track. Now, the city council last week tried to stack the deck on the advisory boards, and they got rid of some people that were very experienced. What did you were at the you weren't at the meeting,
no.
but you were familiar with it. What happened there?
Yeah, so there was a couple of appointments that happened on Tuesday evening, and one of those was the Titusville Environmental Commission. They lost some longtime citizens that were on that. One of them was Tom Perez. And there are concerns that the reason why he was pulled off is because of his involvement with the right to clean water.
Oh no, that wasn't it. Steroid couldn't have been it.
They pretty much said it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Member Stokel, I think.
So you have some vindictive people.
I don't know if it's vindictive or if it's just, if I'm remembering correctly, and I'm paraphrasing her words, of course, it was, why should we have, somebody who's been, fighting us on our advisory board? And
our advisory board?
right.
Oh, so it's not the citizens anymore.
Right.
It's your advisory board.
For the people watching, the boards are the people who advise these city council members, the people that you elected. These are supposed to be people with expertise in these particular areas, and there were certain people that were that applied for the boards that have zero experience, for instance, in environmental issues. To me, that's problematic. There was also pushback on other appointments.
So there was one guy that was kept off, FBI guy.
Yes, yes.
He's kept off. How did they miss putting him on?
I don't know, but I heard that it was very tense in the room, is what I was told, is that many people went up to speak, and they just brought forward the factual information that they found. He had a long
criminal record.
Yes, that he, was federally charged in a case many years ago, and that he was an FBI informant, that he's been involved in some other very concerning things. And it was just citizens bringing forward their concerns about individuals' backgrounds and why the city would put themselves in a position like that.
Who nominated them?
Nobody did. They applied. They just applied for the board.
So he went down close vote or no?
No, he did not make that board in particular, but I think he's tried to apply for other boards, and he's been seen quite a bit with Mayor Connors around town.
Oh boy.